been sitting here collecting pieces.
Millions of pieces for me.
What? Work.
Are we live?
Be live.
It's almost like Tim should run the opener.
Maybe. I always wait to see when I start seeing that counter going, then that's when I know we're live. There it is. Okay. All right, here we go. 3, 2. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 402, recorded on November 17th, 2022. On tonight's episode, we talk about Justin's episode 401, the Game Awards nominations, and whether or not we will ever be the same after New York. Jesse, you know what to do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We can be together after New York, even though it was pretty awesome. All the dads are here for episode 402, and it is November the 17th, 2022, just a week before real Thanksgiving, not the Canadian one that happens on a Monday. Joining me on the show tonight is the entire cast of the Nintendo Dads podcast, and we're glad that you are listening. You're here as well. But let's go around the horn here and see how everybody's doing. Jesse Waldack, 7-year employee running current container of the entity known as Robo Jesse, and time-traveling Pokemon player from the future. How are you?
I don't think my legs have still fully recovered over New York, but and you know I've had a bit of an itchy throat, so I might sound kind of funny later. But other than that, I think I'm doing pretty good. Apparently, I made Marty cough.
Well, I didn't hear anything different.
All of those things that you named him as all are encompassed under that one name, his new name, which is the Wizard.
The Wizard.
He is the Wizard.
Even has a wizard beard. I mean,
yes,
it fits right home to throw a fireball in your face. Speaking of throwing fireballs in faces, Justin Masson, looking like.
Hold on, folks.
I mentioned earlier, for those of you who are listening audio and can't see this, Justin looks like he's about to go catch some Pokemon. He's got the red hat on. He's got the glasses. He's got the vest. By the way, why are you still wearing that vest? It makes you look fat.
I know, it does make me look fat, right? And also awesome. Also, dogs are awesome. They're
the only one who care about us.
Yeah, exactly.
Dogs are the only ones.
Dogs are the only ones. No, it's great. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure excited for the Pokemans, Scarlets, and the Zealots, Violets, and the trainer from the future, and crazy prehistorically, and I could care less. I'm just so excited that like after tomorrow I can stop seeing it in my Twitter thread of people who are like retweet to give away copies of this game and blah blah blah. You and I'm like I just don't care.
Now you know how I felt when Xenoblade came out.
Yeah, it's just so painful.
And nobody's gonna know they won because Twitter's gonna shut down when we're all asleep.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, that's right. It's gonna blow up. It's not gonna be there. Speaking of shutting down,
yes,
I'm off.
I'm very close to it.
How are you? Are you really close to shut down?
No, I am so tired from this week. I don't know. It's like back to like a full week of work and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like crazy.
Full weeks of work are terrible.
Yep.
I don't know. Okay. I haven't had one of those since August.
Because you're a wizard. Because you're a wizard. Wizards get away with that.
That's right. So, he's wizarded his way into that. Yeah.
How you doing, Marty?
I was going to say this has been kind of a crazy week too. Back to a full week of work. Had a semester-ending project in one of my classes that's worth 50% of my grade in that class. It's turned in, though.
Nice.
It's turned in. In the midst of that,
isn't that the best feeling of
it is.
turning in a project of that scope?
The best feeling will be when I get it back and I have a hopefully good grade on it.
Yes, that is the best.
The other thing is that my body decided after a trip to New York and 2 Extra Life events, hey, this would be a great week to shut down.
Sure would be.
Which is why I sound like I'm talking to you through a wall of mucus, because I am.
And
I've already warned everybody, and I'll warn you on the audio show portion and the video portion as well. If you see me leave, it's just because when I get this nasally stuff, I also get hiccups sometimes, and I'm not going to battle that for the show.
And so this is the point of the dad's part. This is the dad's part where we talk about our ailments and what, and stuff
back in my day,
But the mucus wall, didn't you know that, Jesse, you can back me up on this. This is an actual Magic the Gathering card, right? Mucus wall.
Is there a mucus wall? Okay.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I was more thinking of the boss fight from Final Fantasy IV, where you actually fight a wall that you have to kill before it mashes you.
I think they did something similar in 12. Oh, and then I found this button since you said that.
Back in my day.
There it is. That's right. Back in my day, I didn't have a mucus wall. Well, guys, we've got a lot to dive into. It's been a while since we have done a full and proper show. And so let's just take a running leap off the diving board and head straight into the news, shall we?
Everyone into the deep end. Who brought
oh my gosh, we don't know how to act anymore. It's affected us. The news is brought to us each and every week here on the show by you guys over at patreon.com/NintendoDads. And we want to say a huge thanks to all of our new patrons who have signed up and those who have returned to us as well. You guys are awesome, and mention your names on the show next week, because I don't have the thing pulled up. Stupid mistake.
Well, if they hadn't changed it so much, then we probably would be able to find it.
Patreon's website is a dumpster fire now.
They throw it all over the place. All right. Yeah. So I see 8-Bit Mitch was the last one to join on November 5th.
Mitch, thank you so much.
And then we had a couple in September. So
we appreciate it. So if you joined in September, no, we love you anyway. But you can head over to patreon.com/NintendoDads for a little as $1 a month. You can join in and be a part of our Discord. $5 gets you the whole slate of sub-channels. $10 gets you pre- and post-show audio and an art card quarterly. And $30 a month gets you to be Patreon producer. And if you're on our Patreon producer level right now, be sure to be looking for a link very soon to schedule your next appearance on the show via Calendly. Isn't that right, Tim? Is that what we use? Is that the name of it?
Yes, we use Calendly for anybody who wants to.
Yep. And Justin wants to say something.
I do. I'm raising my hand, right? Speaking of the amazing efforts of Patreon, Jesse, what level do our amazing Patreon folks get our show ad-free?
Any level.
Any level.
Any level? You mean if you don't like hearing me talk about Gooder or Manscaped and ads that can take up to 5 minutes, you can head over to patreon.com/NintendoDads and for $1 a month, receive all of our audio ad-free. Boy, that sounds like an amazing deal.
Sounds like a bonus.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if you don't like our ads, then that's okay. Some people don't. Head over to patreon.com/NintendoDads or patreon.com, type in NintendoDads. Literally $1 a month. You get our show. We send you an RSS feed where you can put it into your podcast catcher of choice, and you get our show ad free. Yeah.
And let me throw
Not
this
saying
out
that we dislike Manscaped, Gooder, Glitch, any of those people who've supported us, but hey, if you don't want to hear them anymore, that's one way that you could do it.
Yep. And I'll throw this out here at the top of the show too, usually because we don't talk about it till the end. But if you have a Twitch Prime subscription,
oh my gosh,
and you're
Twitch
not
Prime.
using it, you can throw it our way and get access to the Discord as well. There's lots of people, about 12 or 13, maybe 15 who do that right now. And so you can do that. Tim.
I just wanted to ask you guys, have you seen our latest tier images we have on our tiers? They look pretty snazzy.
I have not.
I have not.
They've been there for a while, but nobody said anything. But that's fine.
Speaking of subbing,
I don't.
Ms. 1K3 That's amazing. Thank you so much for subbing.
The Miz.
He's another Pokemon gamer.
He's the Miz.
Whenever I
do,
I like.
Whenever I do Pokemon streams, he's almost always there.
Tim, I'm going to be honest with you. Due to the recent restructuring of the Patreon page, I don't know how to get there.
Patreon.com/NintendoDads/community. It'll take you right there.
Okay. Awesome. I'm just.
Yeah, that's new.
Just hanging out over here.
This really is the dumpster fire that we have.
Yeah,
it's not our fault. If you
don't websites know that we're old and we can't handle the web changes like that without advanced warning?
Can they? Oh, I see it. I see them now.
Real-time reactions to Patreon.
There's a DK Island. There's a good job, Tim.
It was. I don't know what you're talking about. It was some magic.
Nobody else would run the show like that. All right.
It was the Avatar Genie or the Avatar Fairy.
The Avatar Genie. That's our new. That's our new cast member here on the Nintendo Dads. The Avatar Genie. Well, guys, let's dive in and talk about the news. This week was all about the Game Awards nominations. The Game Awards coming up the first week in December. I believe December 8th, and lots to talk about here. Nintendo, there's lots of Nintendo games that got nominated, or lots of games, I won't say Nintendo games, lots of games that got nominated that are on the Switch.
Yeah.
Including Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I remember back when we, the Wii U era, when they would do this, there might be, I type up everything and I highlight the ones that are on Nintendo system. It'd be lucky if it was 3 or 4. But this, I think.
Wow, that's a lot.
This year, I think, has been the most. Like a quarter of it is highlighted. It seems like, or a fifth of it.
Yeah. So, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom nominated for most anticipated game. I'm just looking through some of these. Splatoon 3 nominated for best multiplayer. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope for best sim strategy. Best family category, Nintendo can't lose because every game is on the Switch, and
although
really all of them are.
Didn't they lose it last year?
They did.
They lost last year. It takes two. Yep. Which is now on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Out of those family games, though, only one of them is not a Nintendo IP or Nintendo published game. It's Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. Best role-playing game, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Live Alive are both on there, as well as Xenoblade Chronicles 3 getting nominated for Game of the Year. Tunic.
But the best role-playing surprised me because 4 out of the 5 games are on Nintendo. Are Nintendo games.
That's
Live
true.
Alive, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yeah, Elden Ring is the only one that's not on there, and it'll probably end up winning.
That'll definitely win.
Yeah. Tunic nominated in multiple categories. I know, Justin, you were super excited about Tunic coming to the Switch. And you said something, I believe, about you were a little surprised it wasn't up for Game of the Year.
Yeah, I was a little bit shocked. I mean, I think when you look at the Game of the Year list, that was very much kind of what I'll be honest, as I look at the Game of the Year list, I didn't think Plague Tale Requiem would be in there. I think it was the challenge. I think sometimes with the Game Awards is there is sometimes a little bit of a recency bias. And so so often we forget those games and if you remember, Jeff Keighley's system actually really works that it cuts off like the first or second week in November.
November 18th is the cutoff date.
November 18th, has a cutoff date.
Which
so for games released
hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. And
like
then
Sifu launches tomorrow, and it's been nominated 3 or 4 times. Scarlet and Violet releases tomorrow. No show on these lists.
Yeah, and so people kind of forget games in the first half of the year. So I was actually I was seeing a little bit of a recency bias. I was a little bit shocked about a Plague Tale, if I'm very honest here. Stray was the other one that shocked me. I really actually thought Tunic would be in the spot of Stray. Not saying that you needed a kind of a AAA game, AAA indie to be there, but I think the attention, the conversation, the kind of cultural touch point that Tunic was for a little bit. Now it's not a game without flaws for sure, but I just actually really was quite shocked it was not in Game of the Year in my own personal opinion, because I know it's pretty high on a lot of people's lists. Elden Ring, God of War, not a shock there.
And Horizon Forbidden West. Those 3 games were like a copy and paste about a dozen times.
Yeah, when you talk about recency bias, I'm going to say this. Like, I made the comment when the nominations came out. I was like, God of War Ragnarok has been out for a day or 2 days when these nominations came out, and I get that, like, the gaming media gets to play those weeks ahead of time, and they get to do that. But it's also, that's like the last game that they played, right? So I think I'm not saying that God of War Ragnarok, in my comment, what I was getting at was that it's not that I don't think that Ragnarok or Sifu, which Sifu's been out on PlayStation for a long time before this. So they're not necessarily nominating the Switch version when they talk about it. But like with Ragnarok, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve to be there. I'm just saying that, like, it's weird that it's there in a way. Like, it's been out less than 2 weeks and it can already win Game of the Year. And you know, I guess, like, I know that happens with movies too, but I'm like, how can it really be, like, if you haven't sat with it for a while, can it really be Game of the Year? Like when you compare it to Forbidden West, when you compare it to Elden Ring, which have been out for a while, when you compare it to Xenoblade, that's been out for months, you've had 2 weeks to rush through the game, like, right? Like, or a month, or I don't know what build of Ragnarok people were playing.
Right.
So, like, how do you weight that compared to the other games? You know, I mean, like, I'm not saying God of War Ragnarok can't win Game of the Year, but maybe it's Game of the Year next year. Does that make sense? Like, this would be like putting this would be like almost like saying, oh, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is Game of the Year 2023. Nobody's played it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, besides journalists, nobody that I knew had really played God of War Ragnarok, or at least even finished it when the nomination came out. And I'm like you two, Stray. I've played Stray. That's not Game of the Year. I don't know. Like,
I beg to differ there, but that's the point of this, right?
My youngest daughter loves that game.
There's a
I got stuck in it, and so
a lot
that
of
didn't
people
feel like
who
Game of the
enjoyed
Year
that
to
one.
me.
Yeah. Yep, and that's perfect.
And I don't like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 at all. Like, I don't like that whole series, but I'm not going to argue that that's not Game of the Year, because I almost think that that's like a dark horse in that category. Like, it could win it. It's not like I'm saying it could. It's not going to, but it could. It's a contender.
Sure.
But like, these Playtale games, they keep showing up at the Game Awards and winning, like, getting in all these categories and winning awards. I've never played a single one. I just know there's lots of rats.
I played the first one because it was a cloud game on Nintendo. We got a review code for it, and it was actually quite good. It handled actually quite well for cloud version. It was actually probably one of the strongest cloud games I've played in a long time in regards to actually performance. And I thought it was creepy as whatever, but it was cool.
Right.
It was very cool.
Right.
They did a great job setting the story and world around it.
So let's talk about a few of these. Game of the Year. What do you guys think is going to win?
I think Elden Ring's probably going to take it. I think you know, when you look at Plague Tale, God of War, Horizon, even Xenoblade, these are games that are sequels, right? Or in Xenoblade's case, the trilogy, right? Whereas Elden Ring was something new, right? And I think it really took the world by storm. I think it's easy to think it's going to go to Ragnarok, but I believe it's probably going to be Elden Ring.
Okay.
Yeah, I also think it'll either be Elden Ring or God of War. Those two will probably get most of these awards that they've been nominated for. Though I am looking forward to, like, when they go to Best Score in Music, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is also nominated there. And they also do the music montages of the games that are nominated for Game of the Year. So, Xenoblade, again, I just like Marty, I'm not a fan of the gameplay, but the music is awesome.
Yeah, I don't think Xenoblade is going to take it. I think Xenoblade for Game of the Year won't take it there. I think where you'll probably see it, or as the kids say nowadays, earn or get your flowers. I think it's probably going to be best RPG.
I think
that's where you're going to see it happen. Is there? You might see it. Maybe
Sean says it'll be Stray just to spite Marty.
Yeah, probably right. I think
probably. I'm not saying that Stray's a bad game. I'm saying I just suck at it, I guess.
You made a good point. You got to a point where, and it's not Game of the Year for you. So that's the point, and right?
I played it, got to the point where you got your companion, and then I kind of dropped off. So I just never got back to playing it.
I thought good for as we're going through this best multiplayer: Call of Duty, Multiverse, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Ninja Turtles pops up on the list at various different times in this list. I don't think they're going to earn anything, but I thought great to see Splatoon 3 here. And I thought that was a really strong representation of kind of how big it is, especially in the Eastern markets. I thought that was pretty substantial. Excuse me. I don't know if I think it might actually win, because I think Overwatch 2 had a hard launch that they really stumbled out the door at. I think Multiverse came and went. I think Call of Duty is kind of always Call of Duty. And
apparently this Call of Duty is actually pretty good this year.
Really?
What I've heard.
I don't think Shredder's Revenge had a big enough pop.
It at least has broken sales records.
Yeah, well, what are sales records now? I was, in here.
It means the consumers want to play it.
Yeah. I think the other section, or the other question, or the other area that I thought I'd love to hear this group's opinion on, best indie, right? And so here, best indies was Call of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic.
I think Cult of the Lamb's taking this.
Really? You think this is where Cult of the Lamb's going to take it?
I do, because I think that the buzz around it was so big. I wasn't that I love the actual gameplay, but I wasn't a big fan of the theme.
Yeah.
But for me, that one's between Cult of the Lamb and Tunic, and I think that the actual impact of, and I guess the reach of Cult of the Lamb is probably going to.
See, I think it depends on which circle you were in. Certainly in our circles, Cult of the Lamb was really big, but then part of our circle and into others, Neon White was actually pretty big too, is pretty big. And I could see that one getting edged out if I don't remember how much of an impact viewer votes are, but I know just from the Twitterverse, Neon White is huge.
Yeah.
I will tell you the one category that I didn't expect to be interested in, but that I love this nomination is best mobile game. I really hope it's Marvel Snap.
Yeah,
I mean, that's such a prime example of recency bias, though, right?
I've played all of these. Diablo Immortal is good. And Genshin Impact is as well, but wasn't Genshin Impact out at the last Game Awards?
It's ongoing too. It's an ongoing.
Oh, yeah, it's because Fortnite is nominated every year for community.
The question about the mobile game is: do they take into account how gross monetization is, or do they only look at the gameplay? Because if they do factor in the monetization, I think Diablo shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, I think
Diablo with a backbone is butter. It's so good. It's butter.
Let your backbone slide. Can we just get that on the soundboard? Is there any way we can do that?
No.
Come on. I don't have
They're losing. Listen, Justin, I will say it's money on the table that they're not, doing commercials with that song and having
up here in
open
Canada,
up and
yeah. I mean, that's a great thing, right? We could pull that all together. So yeah. So that's the game. That's the Game Awards. Any other one you guys want to talk about?
I mean, Nintendo has a chance to kind of come out of this as a winner. In a lot of ways. I mean, there's several categories that they're stacked. As far as like these are games that you can play on your Switch. Games for impact. I'm looking best action game, best role playing, best family, best multiplayer, best sim strategy. All have very strong Nintendo best community support, best indie. All have very strong Nintendo presence there.
So there's a
did
lot more
bring
yellow
up-
on this list than previous years.
Yeah. Let's talk about how you can watch the Game Awards so that you can see all these categories and see the winners. Game Awards this year will be live in select IMAX movie theaters. You can go to gameawards.imax.com for more info. And no, we're not sponsored by the Game Awards. We're just giving you info. There is Jesse has checked on this. There's one theater in the state of Kansas that's doing this. Seats are
Really,
$17.
one theater in a 400-mile radius doing this.
Yeah.
From me.
$17.50 each, not including taxes and fees. So most theaters are in the $20 to $25 range. You can also watch this on Twitch, YouTube. I think the GameAwards.com. You can watch it from the website. This is not something you can just like pull up on your TV. All right, it's not going to be on G4 because G4 is dead for a second time. So you have to watch it online. You have to watch it live streaming. One other thing that I wanted to mention about it is that according to findings this week, a brand new trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie, clocking it at 1 minute and 30 seconds, has recently been rated.
I didn't know companies rate trailers like that. Is this a European thing? Because I've never heard of this. I don't know,
but the rumor was that we would be seeing more at the Game Awards, and with that, I think that's pretty much a sure sign. Yeah. I'm looking forward to more Mario movie at the Game Awards if that's the case.
Backing up a bit, when you mentioned G4, I didn't realize G4 was actually a channel on YouTube TV until I got a notification saying that G4 has been removed from YouTube TV. I'm like, well, had I known that was there, I might have actually watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this will be airing on one of our typical days, the 8th, when we typically have a live show. We have in the past done live reactions to this. I don't think we're going to this year. We talked about not doing it. So
we're going to talk about it after.
We'll talk about it afterwards. Yeah, I think after
it'll be a late show,
and maybe we'll pull some live reactions or some world premieres.
Couple of years that we've done it live, it hasn't really amounted to anything.
Yeah, for sure. So we will not be watching it live,
other than 4 exhausted hosts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 4 exhausted hosts and a bunch of Monster Hunter news.
Yeah. Mikey Dreamer is now my favorite person in the chat, saying disappointed that no Nintendo dads were nominated for Content Creator of the Year. Mikey Dreamer, head over to the Dads After Dark page. You can see that we absolutely were. This guy was nominated for Content Creator of the Year.
So was Desk Pillow.
So was a pillow. So was John. So was Drew, and so was what was it?
And we all know who's taken that one.
Yeah, not this guy. Not this guy.
Yeah.
And to go back to the whole IMAX thing, I don't know if you guys saw my little words about that on Twitter.
I did not.
We'll see how long that lasts. But I posted to AMC theaters about why isn't there any Michigan locations? They just totally left out. There's nothing in Michigan, and the closest one to me is in Ohio, 100 miles away.
Yeah. The list that came up, is they pretty much give you all the locations sorted by distance from your search criteria, and there was the fourth one closest, that's like 510 miles away, is a theater in Minnesota that I used to go to a lot when I was a kid.
Of course.
So I can go watch this. My closest theater is 287 miles away in Knoxville, Tennessee. There's an IMAX screen in Nashville. There's an IMAX screen, I believe, in Memphis.
Why there's IMAX theaters everywhere now. Why aren't they at every IMAX theater?
Can we just ask
is it because they need to have somebody there because there's something special going on there or something?
Why is this not in non-IMAX theaters? Why is it not like run it one night only everywhere? I don't know.
That's what I was just saying. Why isn't it at all the IMAX theaters?
It's literally just pull up the stream.
I think there's something that they're doing with it. Like I think they're doing
like
you get
live interaction with some hosts.
Yeah, I think there's something else going on with it. But
they're collecting fans' tears in a jar, literally, as the show is going.
Remember, folks, the award show is great. We all have different opinions of what games should win. Everything means something different to ourselves. So if your favorite game was not nominated, doesn't mean it was a bad game. We all have our own. We all find joy in our own little things, right? So these are not to go to war over or to have big internet feuds or arguments about. And also, like just enjoy. I
like having
also recognize that this is literally a 3.5 to 4 hour commercial. All right, just if you're okay with that,
right.
I'm gonna go see if the Nintendo Dads can host one at one of the theaters here in Michigan. So,
okay, okay. Again, guys, have we talked about being able to time people out in chats? I really want to go back to Twitch talking about timing people out. We can do that.
You're a moderator, aren't you?
I am moderator. Oh, I can
do that.
Out.
Yep. While he's doing that, let's talk about some other brief news as well. And we are on the eve, as we record this, of Gen 9 Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Should be in your hands by the time you hear the audio version of this podcast. But
if you're listening live, 1 hour to go.
1 hour to go, unless you're Jesse and you've time traveled to the future and already played an hour of Pokemon. That will be on our YouTube channel in the morning. And you're going to hopefully give us some impressions of that later on, because you can, you legally own a copy. People who've downloaded the game should already have version 1.0.1 installed. But people who have the game physically will have to do a 1 gigabyte launch day update to put the game in its current version, and it's still having problems. We'll get to that here maybe in just a few minutes, but the reviews have not been kind today. It's currently sitting, I believe, at a 77 or 75 on Metacritic. Excuse me, and lots of other reviews are ongoing, but overall the consensus is it's Pokemon, but there's lots of technical issues. Jesse, let's take a little side trip right here while we've got it. Did you notice any technical issues today while you were playing?
Yeah, I did notice a few glitches, not really glitches, but like stutters. That's probably the better word. Like there was one scene where, like, really early on, I think I commented on when it happened in the video you'll see tomorrow morning, where the screen kind of goes white, but while it's fading white, it in mid frames it like the filter like goes away and you see the background again, and then the filter comes back. It's like that was a weird stutter. And in the instances when you catch a new Pokemon and the data gets added to the dex, that sequence seems slow. I don't know if it's stuttering slow or just slow. And if it is stuttering, I don't know why, because there's not a lot happening at that point. So, but and again, I'm only an hour in, and I was reading out loud everything. So I think most people, what I did in an hour, most people will probably get in about 30 minutes. So I'm still really early in the game.
I saw a video clip on Twitter of someone who was playing. They caught a Psyduck. The Pokeball animation halted in midair, then dropped to about midway, then touched the ground, stuttering, and then a bridge appeared out of nowhere next to the Pokeball. Justin and the rest of us were having a little chat beforehand before we went on air. Do we think that this is a symptom or a result of the increased cycle of pumping out Pokemon games? And what we mean by that is, used to you'd get a Pokemon game and you'd have a little bit of time to play Pokemon, maybe even a couple of years before the next version came out. We've gotten 3 Pokemon games in the last year: Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Pokemon Arceus, and now Scarlet Violet. So let's talk about this for a minute. Do you think that Pokemon Company is being rushed, pressured, forced, or are they the ones to blame? Is it Nintendo? What is going on here?
I think it's the Pokemon Company to blame that's rushing Game Freak to keep that 3-year cycle going of new generations just because of merch. If they say delay it from 3 to 4 years, then that's the extra year they don't have plushies, shirts, anime, and that's revenue. They probably get a lot more money from merch than they do the games.
Well, yeah, I mean, that, like, just being at the Nintendo New York store, they had Pikachu in a luchador outfit, and Pikachu with Statue of Liberty, and Pikachu as a Christmas Pikachu, and a Thanksgiving Pikachu, and that's just Pikachu. I mean, they had a whole little alcove over to the side that had other Pokemon,
right,
that nobody really cares about, because why would you care about another Pokemon than Pikachu?
They had a creepy looking Cleavor.
Yeah. But seriously, like, the merch has got to be the factor, right? Well, it's got to be one of the factors, probably the biggest factor.
Yeah. Becca says
because the games are still selling like gangbusters.
Yeah, but like 14 to 16 million per release. Yeah. Becca asked if it wasn't like that before. My response is, well, again, they've had a new generation every 3 years, but up until Sword and Shield, it's always been on a portable, so lower resolution, lower texture quality. They didn't have to make that much of an effort to make things look pretty. Now that we're playing it on 1080p screens, or up-res to 4K if you have the TV to do it, those extra textures make a difference, and they have put effort into the textures in this one, like they mentioned in the pre-show, like the uniform shirts that the students are wearing. I like the look of that texture that they used for the shirts, and it just doesn't look like just a plain texture like you would have seen in a 3DS game, or say, a me on the Wii. It's just a plain color and nothing fancy with it. That's how they used to look. But so they're trying, but the engine or the hardware probably can't hold up to it very well.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, you've got a company or developers who, for 90% of their development lifetime, developed for handheld.
Right.
Developed for a monochrome handheld to begin with, and then began developing for increasingly more complex handhelds. And then all of a sudden it's, holy crap, guys, we've got to make a console game, which I think we kind of saw in Sword and Shield, right? It was like, oh, this is upscaled 3DS.
Well, Mikey even says, is it even getting the 1080p? Good question. I don't know. We'll wait to see what.
I'm very excited to see Digital Foundry.
Yeah, Digital Foundry I'm sure we'll have information in the next few days.
Apparently, like, handheld is very rough. It's very rough looking.
And in most games, the handheld runs better than undocked because it's trying to push the extra pixels.
Yeah. Tim, Justin, y'all have any opinion on this? Are we pushing Pokemon too much? Because Justin, you actually made a really good comment before the show, and
damn right
it was something along this, like, we jump all over Activision for yearly installments of Call of Duty.
And Ubisoft
for Assassin's Creed. Where's the public outcry about yearly Pokemon?
It's because we adore Pokemon. It's because it's sunk in. It's got its grassroots, just like a Pokemon, the grass type, attached to our heartstrings. We have nostalgia for it. We don't feel like Nintendo or the Pokemon Company is an evil empire twisting its monocled mustache of saying, "Ha ha, more money for me." We don't see horrible things that come out of the Pokemon Company. We don't hear horrible working conditions or horrible CEOs. So we assume that they are amazing and infallible. But the reality is, over the last 365 days, the Pokemon Company has put out 3 Pokemon games. You're like, Justin, what do you mean 3? Notice how I said 365 days, 1 year. Last year, we had Pearl, the remakes of Pearl and Diamond. We then had Arceus, and now we have Scarlet and Violet. And we don't say anything about it. Why? Because it's Pokemon. We love Pokemon, and we forgive Pokemon. There's also a little bit of like a Pokemon shine to it, right? It's kind of like the Nintendo boost, the Nintendo bump, right? We kind of expect it to be great. We expect it to be good. We all expect to have a great time. It feels like possibly this is the first time that Ash has thrown out his Pokemon ball. And despite his winning of the championship lately or recently, after 25 years, it's a miss. And nothing comes out of that but a sad Pikachu who has no power and just falls asleep. I basically used up all the Pokemon terms that I know, all in this little analogy. I hope it's landed with you. But the reality is that maybe
I don't know what animal this is or what Pokemon
this is. Exactly
it,
right? Maybe we need to say to the Pokemon Company, hey, slow it down a bit. Now, of course, there are different teams that work on different games, so it's not necessarily the same people. It's different cycles. We understand that. We want the game to evolve. We've seen this evolution. We've seen people who got excited about Arceus, right? We've seen them now. Some of those practices moved into Violet and Scarlet, but perhaps we need to say to the Pokemon Company, maybe you need to take a year off. Maybe you need to take some time. Maybe you need to do some soul searching. Maybe you need to go on a journey with some friends to discover what the real meaning of Pokemon is, which is catching things with balls. Next, Manscaped.
Wow. Tim, you wanna pull anything from that?
So I just want to remind everybody also, because you guys kind of mentioned it, but before, when we had 2 different platforms instead of 1, where we had the console and the handheld, Game Freak, or the help they had, were making multiple Pokemon games per year. Yes, you had the 3 years per generation or whatever, but then there were still the remakes. There were still the Pokemon dungeons or the puzzle games that were spun off or whatever. So there's still a lot of Pokemon games throughout the years, or almost every year there was some sort of Pokemon game. This time now with the Switch, now everything's consolidated into the one. So Game Freak had to do that. Now I'm not making any excuses for them. This is the point where we have to see, what does Game Freak do now that they got the game out? We know there's a day 1 patch. What does that fix? And then what are they going to do to fix the rest of it, to make it better for the players? It's unfortunate we have to get to that point. We're not seeing the game, great from the get-go, but at least let's see what Game Freak does with this information. Okay, there's a lot of people who aren't happy about it. They're getting a lot of feedback saying this is not great. Maybe it is a Nintendo Switch problem. What is Nintendo going to do about it? Unfortunately, I'm afraid we're not going to hear anything about it, because Nintendo is not going to say, I'll be very shocked if they come out and say, we're sorry about our system's performance, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. We're going to see a lot of topics from other creators saying that it's time for a more powerful Switch successor.
Oh, we've already seen that. I mean, it's been rampant.
Well, they have been saying it, but they're going to say it. Well, they're going to say it louder now.
We've speculated on it too, to where we said a lot of these games that have been coming out since Age of Calamity, where they developed with a new Switch in mind that we're not aware of yet, and they just couldn't. We haven't seen that new Switch because of the whole processor issue. So we already know that they couldn't, that OLED was supposed to have a new processor with it, but they couldn't do it. So they had to hold it back and just do the OLED with other little things that were updated and screen size and all that, but no processor. So what's going to happen now? Are we going to get to the point where, okay, we're getting the processors, and Nintendo is not afraid now to go ahead and come out with that Switch X, whatever that name is,
Switch gonna give it to you.
Yep. Guys, let's talk about a couple of extra things here, and then I've got a little bit of breaking news I want Jesse to react to. But just a couple of other little news bites here. Splatoon 3 announced an update. Chill season begins December 1st. This is going to be a update for the game that includes at least one new stage for multiplayer, as well as a brand new catalog, which acts as the game's battle pass in a way. That will be starting over. So if you have any pages left from the catalog that is currently the one that shipped with the game, you have until November 30th to finish that off. It's not going to happen for me. I'm nowhere close. But that is the new update will be on December 1st. Also, in game release news, Little Inferno, the Ho-Ho Holiday expansion, will be launching November 18th for PC, Mac, and Linux. Later coming to Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android, including new holiday stories, new holiday catalog, a new character, new combos, and an infinite Yule log ability or mode, as well as Picross X Pikbits versus Ouzboros, which has been delayed until December. I have no clue what that is. Anyway. Jesse, I wanted you to react to this little bit of news. Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's Office today arrested 57-year-old Yuji Naka in context of insider trading related to new installment from popular Dragon Quest franchise.
Oh.
Yuji Naka, also known as the father of Sonic the Hedgehog, I believe, and Balan Wonderland, or Wonderworld, is reported to have been arrested in Tokyo as of this recording due to insider trading.
I guess that means that we're going to get information on the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D or Dragon Quest 16 soon, if he knows something that we don't and did stock trades on it. I don't know. At least those are the two games.
I didn't see any further information. I found this on Twitter from a verified account, Takashi Mochizuki. So yeah.
You disappointed Nintendo because he thought it was going to be Chicken Wiggle news.
No, there's never any Chicken Wiggle news. Not since May. You should go check the Twitter account. Has Hatch Tales released yet? That's where you'll find your most updated information. There. Probably today, says no. Guys, that's our news for this week. Let's take a quick ad break. Here's some words from our sponsor, Manscaped.
Hey, folks. The holidays are just around the corner. And if you're looking for a fantastic gift for friends, family, maybe the brother-in-law, maybe the father-in-law, maybe you're looking to impress your partner, can I encourage you to head over to manscaped.com and check out some of the amazing products that they have available to prepare you for this Christmas party. Maybe you've got to get a surprise birthday gift, maybe a surprise gift, maybe you're part of the elephant exchange at work. What a great way to surprise and treat your boss with a Performance Package 4.0. Make sure you get the raise he's been looking for. And by the way, if you're not just, Manscaped isn't known just for their amazing products that are used for below the belt trimming. Of course, not only just below the belt trimming, but maybe if you're also looking for some of that body hair you got to shave off to make sure that you're looking cool and crisp for this winter season. They've also got some amazing products like the Body Buffer, which has just come out. A fantastic body wash that you can use, and a nice silicone matte scrub that you can use as well to help you get through your day. We all use the Body Buffer here at Nintendo Dads, and we highly recommend it. And again, perhaps you're looking for some more other products. Maybe you're looking for some 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. They've got you covered. Body wash, absolutely. Deodorant, you betcha. And by the way, did we mention it's Christmas, it's cold outside, and your lips might be getting a bit chappy? They got you some chapstick as well. Manscaped makes some incredible products, not just for grooming, but for your day-to-day use that you'll enjoy. We guarantee it because we at Nintendo Dads use them. Hey, if you're looking to save some money, head over to manscaped.com and use the promo code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Again, that's NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Big thanks to Manscaped for their continued support in 2022. Hey, back to you, Marty.
Let's discuss.
I made it just in time. It's time to discuss some stuff. Guys, here's a big topic for our Let's Discuss this week. As of right now, as we record this, Team Nintendo Dads is sitting just over $10,500 raised for Extra Life 2022. In fact, the actual total is $10,586 raised by the 12 members of Team Nintendo Dads 2022 for Extra Life. This is our biggest year ever for the fundraiser. It is it's been an amazing banner year, not only for the fundraising, but also the fact that we got to meet in person, hang out, have a magical mystery tour through New York and upstate New York. It's just been it's really been great. And so I just wanted us to kind of, as we round out or get close to rounding out November, to talk a little bit about our experience with Extra Life this year and also in New York, since it's been about a week or so since we were all came home. But I just wanted to take a minute here at the beginning to say thank you to everyone who's donated. Thank you to everybody who has pushed us to this threshold. This is the first time that we have ever raised anything more than $5,000 as a team. When we met our $5,000 goal while we were in New York, and Tim set the new goal of $11,233, which some people may think that's a very arbitrary number. It was actually just the total goals of everyone on the team at that time.
Right.
I didn't think that we would get close to even 10,000.
And then since then, Isaac increased his goal, and so if we recalculated it even higher.
I mean, part of that has come from my son did his Extra Life on his own for the very first time this year. Someone donated the I guess the joke donation. Leet. It looks like Leet. $1,337. Someone saw that and saw that he was close to 1,500, and they finished him off with another anonymous donation as well. It was just, that is a large dog.
That is my dog. That is my dog wearing a Christmas jumper from the movie Elf. Cashel, come here, buddy. Come here. Yes, good boy. That says cotton-headed ninny-mugger or ninny-monger on it.
I love it.
Gosh.
I love it. That's a fantastic. That's a majestic animal.
Thank you, Morgan.
But anyway, so lots of great things came out of Extra Life. As I'm looking here right now, Justin has met his goal. Isaac has met his goal. Game Pass News has met their goal. Jesse met his goal. Andy met his goal. Tim met his goal. Hambone met his goal. Chris ChrisHL is going to make another push this weekend to meet his goal. Jeff Watt, Mecca, and Ben McClung and me. We're the only ones who haven't met our goal yet. Which here's the fact: when I say I haven't met my goal, I'm over $2,000. So I mean, I'm fine. It's been an incredible effort this year. Just y'all blown away. But what we wanted to announce is Extra Life for us. We're going to be giving away some fantastic prizes. If you would like to be entered in one of those prize drawings, all you have to do is make a donation, and that is going to go through the end of this month. Fundraising actually goes through the end of the year, but to be sure that we get your prize out to you in a timely manner, we are cutting off prize eligible donations at the end of this month, November 30th. So if you still want to make a donation, you can do that. To any one of those people, you can donate to somebody who's already met their goal, whoever you want to.
I would really encourage you, if you can, look at the folks who need a little bit more push, right? If you're looking at like myself or someone else who's crossed that threshold, man, we appreciate it, of course. And of course, we want that money to go to our charities. But take a look at some of these folks who are maybe a little bit lower on their scale, and let's give them the love and support as well. Because again, these folks have raised their hand and said, I want to support this cause. I want to raise money for this charity. I want this for my place. And that's a big commitment for folks to sometimes step up in that positioning. So if you could, man, that would be awesome.
I completely agree. And even mine. I mean, if you have a choice between any of these, I would go for the people who have not raised a lot yet, because again, they are playing for their own Children's Miracle Network Hospital. There's kids there that need care as well. And man, I'm just excited to be a part of this every year. Personally, this year I crossed the threshold of $10,000 given individually to Le Bonheur Children's Hospital, which is here in Memphis. Counting Isaac's donation this year, or donations this year, that means that collectively as a team, we've given over $12,000 or raised over $12,000 for Le Bonheur. There's other hospitals that you guys have played for throughout the years. You can go in there and see a collected donation there, but it's not about the numbers. It's about the kids. It's about helping them. It's helping their families, helping them be able to have a quality of care that is compassionate and dignified. And I know that 100% of the money that you give through all this is 100% goes straight to those families and straight to things that benefit them. So it's tax deductible. You can count it on your taxes if you want to. And if you'd like to donate and you still haven't yet, you can go over to extra-life.org, look up Nintendo Dads, or you can just go to our webpage, nintendodads.org, and up there in the corner, there's our Extra Life info, and you can click there and get all of that taken care of.
My place of employment offers donation match. So, at least those that I've donated to, I'm going to submit my receipts to my company and they will give them more.
Yeah, a lot of companies offer that. So please, folks, if you haven't, check with your HR teams or check with your benefits administrators. They may have that feature. Now, of course, as we talk about Extra Life and the amazing stuff that occurred there, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, we talk about giving to charity. We talk about the children, which we are so grateful for. But the thing that I also am just so proud of is the fact that we completely destroyed and annihilated the carpool gaming, Save the Media, and I think it's Trophy Room. Yeah, that's right. They were the ones who were sitting behind us, who were yelling and hooting and hollering, let's go, let's go. Sean Capri, who I just about wanted to stab with a controller. Hey, Sean, look at me. Look at this right here. Hey, suck it. All right. Look at that, huh? We come in, boom, like a wrecking ball. You guys raised like 9,200. That's cute. Good for you. But then the dads come in, first year there, boom. destroy it. All right.
Here's the deal. Like, it took us a little bit longer.
You should just sit down. And I said to Sean, it is a marathon, not a sprint. And he's like, let's go. Just all pumped up on his Powerade and Ritz crackers and is swinging around a Mario jacket like he thinks he owns everything. Ladies and gentlemen, do never, ever doubt the power of the dads. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're coming for you.
He's an Xbox podcast. He doesn't even like Mario.
Doesn't even know what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Like, absolutely.
He doesn't even know who Mario is.
As a good friend of ours would say, he was hot trash in the summer. All right. That's what was going on there.
Look, he pronounces Mario.
Yeah, he has not had a community that has shamed him like we have. You know what I'm saying?
So, Justin did too, and we slapped that out of him.
Yeah. Mario.
Yeah. But not only here's the thing, dads, like, it took us a little while to get there, you know, right? Because we were out doing dad things.
We're out being dads. We're out there, you know, including our community. We're making sure that everyone's welcome. Man, but in all seriousness, fantastic job. We're so excited for that. And if you are keeping record, we also beat the Mega Dads. So like, our teams just absolutely destroy it. Yeah. Also, I mean, if you like that trash talk that I did to Sean, who's probably, you know, he's oddly enough, he's not in our chat anymore. He must have just disappeared. He must have known the section was coming and embarrassedly walked away. If you like to hear more about me talking trash about Sean and our experience, head over to We the Gamercast. I was actually on Sean's episode this week and shared some more insight and behind the scenes kind of work as we got towards Extra Life and reaching our goal. So if you want to hear more, check that out. But congratulations and thank you to everyone who did this, participated, donated, watched the stream, was in the chat. Seriously, like, we talk about like why we do things. We talk about why we do a podcast. We talk about like kind of like what is the thing that we're chasing for. Right there is the answer. There is not a clear answer if you are ever asking why do you do this, then what has just happened. $10,000 are going to Children's Miracle Network hospitals in North America because of this community, because of these people who have raised their hands and said, I believe in this cause. I believe it's important. I understand the importance of it, and I want to do something about it. And whether you're the person who volunteered on the team, or whether you're the person that put down your credit card, whether you're the person that shared, tweeted, retweeted, support us within the comments, gave $1, doesn't matter. You showed up. You showed up and you did something incredible. It wasn't the 12 people that were on the team who were helping to lead that charge. We are the spear. We are the point of the spear. You are everything behind us that keeps us going. This was not possible without your commitment, without your support, without your love and affection to us, to the community, and the people who have raised their hands and understanding the importance of this to children's and families who are in some of the toughest times they will ever be in. You said, we need to do something about this. So thank you. If you can hear anything from this podcast today, the words thank you, I hope resonate through your ears and heart. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. And I would say too, that for like it's really easy to like sit back and go, oh man, Nintendo Dads, team Nintendo Dads, right? Oh, they raised all that money. We didn't do anything. We played video games. We went to New York. We tried to bring entertainment into your lives during that time. That's about it.
And half killed ourselves in the process.
Right. As I said,
Jesse's going to do a live eating of one of those death chips that he hasn't done yet. So that's on him, right? Right, Jesse?
Yeah.
Said you're going to do that?
As I said in a post I made this week about my own total, that like the real heroes are the people who make the donations, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like it's just our job to like coax those donations out. Like, hey, help support our cause. It's a really good thing. But just I wanted to throw out here that like finally getting to meet a lot of people that I've either just heard on a podcast or seen behind the screen through Zoom or whatever, including you guys, was truly amazing, memorable experience. Like all the folks from the Snack Network, Dave and Rachel and Andy over there, Sean Capri, Joe, from PS Trophy Room, Jace, Rizzle, all those guys, Skinny Matt and Preston. Was a really cool experience. Lee and all those guys that run Phoenix Overdrive, for inviting us, for including us, for helping us to get there and all that. It was really what a cool weekend. That I will have a really hard time like forgetting. I don't want to forget it. But whether it be actually doing the 24-hour thing, which I kind of felt like after it was all said and done, like that the extra life was kind of like, oh, that was part of that too. Like everything else was, I don't want to say it overshadowed it, but it was excuse me, it was kind of like, it didn't feel like it was 24 hours. Like it went by so fast. So whether it was that or whether it was getting accosted at Applebee's, which, man, that was
dogs are awesome.
Dogs are awesome.
Dogs are awesome, and that vest needs to go burn in a fire, apparently. Just all of the conversations that were had. Just such a cool
the Nintendo Pals. Yeah,
weekend.
Didn't mention about the Nintendo Pals being there.
Yeah, the Airbnb where we all thought, where most of us thought we were going to get murdered in.
Yeah, Andros and Mitch and Maggie. Y'all gotta if you've not asked him about it yet, or you've not listened to it yet. I don't know if they've said anything on their show because I haven't.
They did.
Able to listen.
Yeah, they did.
The massive shopping spree that Andros undertook at the Nintendo store. You need details on that. It's like he's been in there for 2 hours. What's going on? It comes out with 3 or 4 bags. I had all this money I needed to spend. He had to go back at one time. He's like, I didn't spend it all. I got to go back. Such a cool weekend. You guys want to say anything about the weekend? Want to throw anything in there?
Those Airbnbs were very interesting.
I didn't get a chance to ask you how did the last Airbnb where you were downstairs and Marty and I was upstairs. How was it? How was that? Or was there anything weird down there, or does it just seem like a normal bedroom?
It was a basement with a bedroom built into the corner of the basement. But okay. Yeah, and
I didn't make it down there to see what it looks like.
There were doors I did not want to open because I had no idea where they went to. And I just went to the one door that had the bedroom. And it was a nice little cozy bedroom because I closed that door. There was a fan in there. I turned on the fan. I was out. Probably helped that I was lacking sleep.
Tim went downstairs and I was like, I was at the top of the stairs saying, Tim off. Timothy. Yeah, because they were getting up and leaving way before me on Monday morning. I wanted to say bye.
Yeah.
But I got up and nobody was there, and I just leisurely walked around the Airbnb, ate my leftover chicken wings.
Yeah, we got our Uber to the airport like 3:15.
Yeah, for an area that is large like Syracuse, their airport is surprisingly tiny. The international airport with 2 runways.
International.
Yeah, it is. The Syracuse International. I walked in, I showed them my board, my QR code or ticket or whatever information, to check in, and they're like, "You'll go to gate 1," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like A1, B1. Nope. Gate 1. We have 26 gates. 1 through 16 is this way. 17 through 25 is the other way.
Yes.
That was it. I was very short. And while I was waiting at the gate, they brought an airport comfort dog by that you could pet.
That's cool.
I think I saw that.
Calm your flying fears. That's cool. Nice.
I'm going to go back to the
nice dog. Not as nice as Casual, but
thank you.
It's a nice dog.
I'm going to go back to the beginning of everything where we got there, and I was the first one to get to New York. I've never been to New York, So coming off the plane or coming out of the train station, the Monahan train station is actually, or train hall, excuse me, is actually a really nice train hall. Lots of just places to get down to board the train. But coming out of there into the city and seeing Madison Square Gardens right there all the times, being whatever you've watched, whether it be sports, concerts, or wrestling, on a pay-per-view, you heard Madison Square Gardens, and seeing that in person and then everything else surrounding it was just like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed already. So, but that's the thing about New York though, too, is like being there for the first time. It was so overwhelming with so many senses, just like the sights, the sounds, the smells, and God forbid touching any touches you might have. But
touching.
And lots of car horns.
Yeah, that's all the sounds, man. So many just honking and people looking at you funny and yelling back, or people trying to sell you something. And then there's the food.
Like street nachos.
The street food, right? So there's street food and there's
gotta watch out for those street nachos, apparently.
So it's like while I was waiting for you guys to get there, I was starving. So I went and found one of the street things, and I'm like, screw it. I might pay for this later, but I'm gonna get me an Italian sausage, in New York. And apparently, from talking to Liam, I probably got one of the safest Italian sausages out there, because it was I don't want to say the name of it because I'm afraid I'll butcher it, but it was I think it was Middle Eastern type of stand, and they are, I guess from what Liam had told me, they're more strict on what kinds of meats they put in their hot dog or sausage type meats. So it was great.
It's not, as we call it here in the South, treat meat.
Yes, it was. So, but it was delicious, and plus they had a special sauce they had on there. It was really good. So I was thankfully I didn't end up like Sean Capri with the street nacho type things, but but that's from that point on, that's when I got to run into you guys, and then we got to eat some special donuts. So
the special donuts that exploded
the one that exploded in Marty's lap.
Yeah, that was.
Well, it was called a dirty donut for nothing, right?
A dirty choco donut, and it was explosive. I enjoyed getting to eat pizza from 99-cent Pizza and More, which was on the corner right next to our.
That's where I got my breakfast sandwich that morning. I got it from that same place.
It was it was like you walk in and it's what kind of slice do you want? Justin had some,
and we noticed that a lot of those like the corner restaurants kind of also double as drugstores.
Yep. As we said, you could get whatever you needed there, whatever ailed you, you could get it taken care of at the 99-cent Pizza and More.
And I would say out of because when we got there, I was able to put my bags there, and you guys did too, and where we were staying. And I think that Airbnb out of all the ones we went to was the smallest, but it wasn't bad because of the location. We were able to get to a lot of things pretty quickly.
From right downtown, 31st Street. It was really cool. And Tim only got us lost. Easy access
to the train station to shuttle us around where we needed to go.
And can I say this? Like the stereotype is that people in New York are rude and stuck up, and they don't want to help you. And that is not what I found there. Very delightful people on the train. Hey, where are you guys going? Oh, you're going the wrong way. You need to get off and go over to the other side and go back. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was an absolute great time. One of the things I enjoyed the most, I've had an opportunity to travel a lot, personally and professionally, and been to New York before. And just to watch the three of you try and find your way through New York was just a real journey. That's what I should have been filming. It was great.
Why didn't you help us?
Oh, because it was a lot funner to watch it. I think
you didn't know where you were going either.
I did try and help you at times. I was like, that's Times Square. You should go to Times Square. Let's go to Times Square. Right.
You did get us over to Times Square.
I did get you to Times Square and showed you kind of like what you should be looking at and what you shouldn't be. And
and you had your McRib.
I had my McRib, which was the worst thing ever, and also prepared to have a second meal, which is what I did have. It was absolutely tremendous. And then obviously, we're seeing the chat scroll by here as well. Friday, getting to meet with some of our amazing friends and community. Mecca mentioned here as well. Who brought cookies, right? Brought cookies and coffee.
And coffee.
Man,
yes.
That was amazing, right? Liam was there. Who else did I missing?
Oh, the Nintendo Pals, Sean and Jace.
Hambone was there, right?
Hambone, yep,
Hambone was there.
And y'all, we would be Robbie Bobby Miller was there. And also Paul's brother, Miguel.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to say this right now. And so this is a little bit of inside baseball because you're a first person who's ever listen to our show. Like, what is going on? When we stood in front of the New York sign and we all the Nintendo New York, we all post that photo and then hey, here we go. Here we are, excited. Our Discord is amazing.
Oh yeah.
The amount of photos and memes photos that came out of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to announce, the guys don't know that right now. Those photos are going to be used in our 2023 Nintendo Dads calendar.
Sweet.
That's what we're going to use every single month. We're going to choose a different one of the ones that y'all chose. We're going to reach out to you, make sure you're okay with it. And that's what's going to be in our 2023 Nintendo Dads calendar. That was so much fun. That kept us energized through the whole day. Yeah, there are a couple of ones there. Dads After Dark, I'm looking at you. That will not make that cut for reasons.
The Rocky Horror one probably not going to make the cut.
But I will say, just even the journey of people engaging with us on social media, being in the chat, doing stuff like that in the Discord, that also kept us energized. That kept us going, and it was so much fun. We were all completely knackered. I was saying to Sean last week on his show, it took about 4 days for me to feel normal again. Just with lack of sleep, lack of food.
Did you guys have when you were starting to go to sleep at home in your own bed for the next couple of days? Did you have any nightmares? I had nightmares.
I think so.
I had nightmares where I couldn't sleep. I kept getting up, and it was because it wasn't like scary nightmares. It was stressful nightmares. I kept waking myself up we got to raise money. And getting stressed out that things weren't happening the way they should be or something, So I kept waking myself up.
Well, one thing I was glad of is we about 50 meters away or so from the Nintendo store, it was a FedEx. Right. So I was able to take my items that I bought, and instead of trying to figure out how to bring them home, I just walked over to the FedEx and shipped them to myself. That was convenient.
Thankfully, all mine made it home. Nothing broke. My kids love their items there.
My bag got searched by TSA. So.
Oh, fun!
Did you guys?
I got a letter in my bag.
Did you?
Yes.
I was bringing back Glitch, and those little powdered bags.
Yeah. Went
through the scanner and got pulled. They scanned it and found out it wasn't cocaine, which is great, and they gave it back to me, which is fine. But they're like, is there a powder in your case? I was like, why is it? And I'm so tired by it, but I'm like, no, there's no. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I totally forgot about those things. So
yeah. That's funny.
I like it. Ninfrendo was saying you probably have PTSD from the Airbnb that we stayed at.
Yeah, that probably.
I just remember getting to the second Airbnb, which is the one they're referring to, and there was someone on the porch fixing a bicycle, and I turned around and looked at the rest of the guys. I was like, why are there people here?
Yeah,
because they were
turned to me and said, "Are we staying here tonight?" And I said, "I don't know yet. We're gonna figure this out." So,
well, what we didn't realize is that someone was living downstairs and we were upstairs.
Yeah,
Which I mean, that's totally an Airbnb
fair
thing.
Play,
That happens,
fair play,
right? Well, guys, that was a fantastic weekend, and I hope we get to do it again at some point. We get to do something like that again. It can't be a one-time thing of meeting the dads.
Yeah, but before we drop the topic, the one I wanted to go back to while we were in doing the streaming, in the middle of the night, I streamed two things that brought physical attention to us. People were standing around us watching. That surprised the hell out of me that those games would do that. I did some streaming of a NES remix on the 3DS, and I streamed Pitfall 2 from the Atari 2600. And as even Justin said, I'm kind of interested in this.
Yeah, I think the other one I distinctly remember having a nap for. That was when Justin crawled up onto the couch and decided to have a nap like a small child. Yeah.
And
I did at one point walk out into the lobby and sleep on a very uncomfortable chair.
Yeah.
It was like at some weird angle that made you feel like you were reclined, but you weren't.
Yeah.
You didn't go up far enough in the back, and my head was just hanging over.
I think that the small nap I took was on the couches, and that was more comfortable.
I told the story before. When I finally got to Toronto to fly home, I don't remember the plane taking off in Toronto, and I only woke up just as we were landing in Calgary. And that is that is a 4.5 hour flight that I have never done that for in my entire time I've traveled.
I did the same thing in the first leg on the way home from Syracuse to Baltimore. Like I dozed off. We hadn't taken off yet. I woke up. We're in the air. Okay, cool. Fell asleep again. Woke up. We're landing.
Yeah.
See, I really thought that you would have slept on the train back to LaGuardia.
I slept for about an hour. I missed an entire episode of Kind of Funny, and then I woke up.
Nice.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Well, guys, did you know that as of the day that you were listening to this, if you're listening to it on Friday, November 18th, that it has been 10 years since the Wii U released?
Wow.
Yes.
10 years. It came out November 18th, 2012. And I realize that we're probably here in this episode getting a little long in the tooth. Mecca suggested that we talk about the release of the Wii U being 10 years ago. What I thought we would do is let's come back to this on our next episode and let's gather our memories, because I don't know that I necessarily know what all of my memories of the Wii U are. I know it had some fantastic games that I feel like people kind of overlooked. I mean, it was at one time home to the single greatest 3D Mario game of all time, Super Mario 3D World, which has now made its way to the Switch, as well as most of the Wii U catalog. There's still some gems out there. Yep, there's still some gems out there that haven't made their way over. And so we'll talk about this on our next episode, Mecca. That's a great topic. But
who still has their Wii U?
I do. Yeah. Hey, guess
what? My son has it in his room.
Right
wow.
Here.
Also,
I use this to turn on my TV here in my office.
Interesting fact: the Wii U is the only Nintendo home console that has all of the home console editions of Zelda games available to play.
That is correct, and I have all of them.
Jesse's checking it right now.
Mine is connected to the living room TV. Still
nice.
Yeah.
It also has tons of games for Virtual Console that you cannot get on the Switch. So, yeah, there's some good things there. Sadly, the Wii U eShop will be shutting down next year. And so it's already, you can't add money. But we'll talk about the Wii U on episode 403 when we record that. Let's talk about some events very quickly, shall we? We want to make a quick mention of Extra Life again here. ChrisHL will be streaming Zelda 2 on Saturday, November 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. He is going to stream until he hits his goal, which he's about a little under $200 away from hitting his goal. He says, come and hang out. If you didn't watch, he did this earlier in the month as well. Beat Zelda 2. He's like a Zelda 2 savant. It's pretty awesome. He's really good at it. Also coming up.
We're going to be hanging out together to do that. So that's
cool.
I'm going to be there to help
on our Twitch channel.
Yeah, that's why we're doing it on our channel, and that's how he's able to stream it, because we're gonna connect via NSO, and he's gonna play it through there. And then I'll be streaming it, and we'll be chit-chatting, just kind of like it's like a dinner table type thing. Nice. But just that way we're just kind of hanging out, and anybody else wants to come hang out, come do that.
Yeah, he likes to tweet to the Nostalgia Cast people, picking on them for not making Zelda 2 one of their what's the term they use? Now I forgot. The essential games list. Yeah, they voted not to include Zelda 2. I was upset too.
Well,
he normally tags me whenever he tags them.
Be upset. It's not essential. I'm sorry. Speaking of the dinner table, Tim, you mentioned it. A couple of things that we want to let you know. We just had our very first breakfast table, which is the morning version of the dinner table. It's the second Wednesday of every month. The next one will be December the 14th at 9 a.m. Eastern. The dinner table is also the third Friday of every month. This next one will be tomorrow night.
Yes.
As you hear this. So November 18th at 10 p.m. Eastern. If you want to join either table, the breakfast table or the dinner table, you have to be a Patreon or Twitch subscriber, and you join the Discord call on either of those days and times to join the fun. You don't have to have any kind of special streaming, anything. You don't have to have any kind of setup like that, just a microphone and the ability to hear what everybody else is saying, and you can join the breakfast table and the dinner table. And really what these are is just a giant discussion with anyone who shows up about whatever anybody brings. Like, it's almost like they're bringing a dish. The breakfast table was super fun. I was so glad I got to join in for that. And I'm looking forward to the one on December 14th.
Shout out to the raid we just got out from Micah Prime. Looks like
from Mitch.
I don't know if it's Mitch, or not. It's a Micah.
It's Micah.
Micah Prime.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for raiding us. And with that, let's talk about what we've been playing, shall we? All right.
It is Mitch.
Tim.
Presto the Magnificent says it is Mitch. Can confirm.
Yes. Nice. Micah
Tim,
Prime.
I'm going to throw over to you first here.
Okay.
Because you're first on the list to have something. Justin has nothing. So we'll come back to him.
All right. So I actually have not been playing a lot since we got back, and it's been more recently that I played a lot of these games. In fact, I have not even been able to fire up God of War Ragnarok yet, and I have that, and I just haven't been able to touch it whatsoever. So I'm looking forward to be able to touch that maybe during Thanksgiving weekend or something, or sooner. We'll see. We'll see how time goes. Just been, again, the Switch is always there. I can grab that and play that on the go. So, or now my phone with Marvel Snap, which is the first game on my list that I played. Which I heard everybody talking about. Was like, I'm not going to play this game. I'm not going to play this game. Darn it, I'm downloading this game. I'm going to try it. And sure enough, it is a pretty cool game. It is a card-based game. I love card-based games. And I like the structure of it, basically. You have 3 regions you have to play your cards on. And depending on, you get boosts on what happens in those regions, and depending on your cards and what they do, you might get further boosts. And then those boosts will help if you have the most attack points in that region, you win that region. And so if you win the 2 out of the 3 of those regions, you win the game. And I felt like I did pretty good in several rounds. I think I only lost 1 out of 10. I think I only played like 10 rounds, maybe a little bit more. I lost track.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed it.
Based on what I've heard, you all of your battles have been against bots. You won't actually PvP until you're around level 20-ish.
Okay. I didn't even know you could do PvP, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, I think once you get that high, you don't have a choice. You have to play against other people.
Okay. Well, that'll be interesting to see what happens there.
It's yeah, and it's random selection there, Tim. It's not like it's like you and I can swap codes or whatever. It's right now it's just open PvP.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, they did say it's on the roadmap, right?
Okay.
So yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, so if you play and you notice a difficulty spike, now you're playing against humans.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yep. And I don't know if I'm going to be that good to be able to do that, but we'll see. I'm enjoying it. And since I played that, I had the itch to try to play some more Magic the Gathering. So I did that on MTG Arena, dove into that on my PC and did 3 rounds or 4 rounds actually of their draft that they have. I forget which kind of draft it was called, but basically it was a free draft, so I didn't get to keep any cards except for when I won. But Jesse and we play Magic the Gathering. I don't think you guys have, Justin and Marty, but it is another card battle game. And when I played since the game came out in the 90s, and have been enjoying it for years, I'm not as good as I know some other people are, because I have a hard time creating this synchronizing some cards.
I've never been good at deck building, which is why I was 0-3.
I love deck building, but I have a really hard time with, especially, I should say, a harder time now with the newer mechanics in Magic the Gathering than I did back in the 90s, when there wasn't as many mechanics to worry about. But anyways,
like the Saga cards.
Yeah, like the Saga cards. So, and I know there's a lot of details there I could go into, but I won't bore you all with that. It's just, I played that on the PC, got through, I won 3 out of the 4 battles in that, and I did win a few cards to add to my collection. So that was fun. It, scratched that itch. And then I'll speak about more detail in the monthly mayhem that Dad's After Dark show has later. They have a beat your backlog, and we basically had to pick a game, and I picked Yoku's Island Express. It is a game I bought.
Great game.
Yes, I remember you did play it. That was like the first year the Switch came out, I think, is when this game came out.
Actually, in full transparency, I actually didn't play it. Jody did, which is very rare. Like Jody likes pinball games.
Okay.
And like unique pinball games. So she played it. And so I just sat on the couch and just coached her and walked her through and helped her when she needed it. But like she played it, and we just it was over like a couple nights we did it. It was great.
Nice.
I loved it. It was fantastic.
I forgot about that, because I remember you talking about it, and I forgot about that detail. So, but when you were talking about it, playing with Jody, I was like, that sounds pretty cool. I'm going to get that game. But I never touched it. I never opened it or anything and played it. So, and that's one of the criteria for the Dad's After Dark monthly mayhem for Beat Your Log. Again, I'll talk about more details later, but that's the game I started playing for that. So, and that's what I've been playing so far.
All right, Justin, coming back to you.
Sure. What have I been playing? Well, much like Timothy and I think Marty, and maybe even Jesse, Marvel Snap, that has got me loving that game. That's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. I have been successful at avoiding installing the game.
Yep. Once it's installed, it's got you. You know what I'm saying? It's got you. So that has been
Jesse.
Great.
Just do it. Just get it, Jesse.
Peer pressure.
Speaking of peer pressure. Speaking of poor influences by Timothy Off. Tim was so kind as to, during our time in New York, hand me his Xbox Series S and said, Justin, I know that you've been thinking about, trying it out. And I know that Stadia is gone. So you need to find another console to play with. Can I offer you this? Because I've got an
opened up my jacket and said,
open up his jacket.
Sir.
He said, "Sir, look at the
this nice
size of
shiny
look at the size of this." And I said, "Wow, that is pretty small." I did expect for it to be a little bit. Jesse just spit up his water everywhere.
It's the perfect size. It was
That's what
it was the perfect size.
It fits right in a bag perfectly.
Yes.
So I actually came home with a Series S, which is
you
great.
Suck, by the way.
I suck. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Set it up, and I have been playing my Series S. So a couple things that I did very quickly is I downloaded and installed Overwatch 2 and Fortnite. And I will say the following: the first game of Fortnite I said the following: "Oh my gosh, there's actually clouds in the sky. I didn't know that existed in this game."
So I told you once you played Fortnite on that, you're not going to go back to the Switch.
Oh yeah, the graphics all of a sudden came back. I was like, oh wow, this is a game changer. So that's been really great. And then so I've been playing those, and then I started dabbling a little bit into Game Pass. And so I have downloaded 3 games from Game Pass to start playing. First one being Deathloop, because that was one that I was on my radar. I really want to play. Second one was Star Wars Fallen Order, or Fallen, because I hadn't finished that or hadn't got far enough in Stadia. And I know that Stadia is dying, so I'll play it there. And the other one that I've been whining and mincing about for so long has been Outer Wilds. And so I have played about 45 minutes of Outer Wilds, and I have no idea what is going on right now. But the answer I get from everybody is that's the journey, and you should continue to play it. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I have definitely been very impressed by the Xbox Series S. I've been very impressed with the user interface. Not necessarily, there's a lot of advertisements and stuff like that, but now they have actually now just linked in Discord, so you can actually just go straight through Discord on your Xbox. The Xbox app works really great, so you can kind of pre-install and preload stuff. I've been really impressed with kind of the ecosystem that I've been playing with in there as well. So overall, very happy with my experience, and it's very lovely over here behind this monitor. You can't see it; it's just a little bit of white in the bottom that you can see peeking out, and the other side is my Switch, which is white over here. So there's a nice balance in the room, and the Xbox is on this monitor, and my Nintendo is on this monitor. So I feel like I've really set myself up for success.
Nice. You got a nice little gaming station going on there.
It's very nice. I've been enjoying my experience with it. So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I want it back now.
Right. No. That controller. Well, I'll have to get you a new controller, because that controller you sent me, I put it in my bag, and something shifted and jammed one of the sticks. Ooh. And one of the left stick is now not attached to the controller.
Wow.
So if you do want it back, I do owe you a controller.
Well, like I said, it was an extra one that came with it.
And I have bought one, so I just sent you the one.
So I'm glad you had an extra one yourself.
Exactly. So, but it's been great.
So
I'm gonna try and maybe open it up.
Long story short,
back together.
This is why they tell you to buy those.
Don't send stuff home with Justin.
This is why they tell you to buy those joystick cases if you're going to travel.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Not joystick, but
you didn't want to see how I packed my bag. Then it's just controller.
Yeah. That's what I've been playing.
All right, Jess.
Okay. So, speaking of Game Pass, I've been playing Dragon Quest Builders 2. I rolled credits on that. So that's like the second time completing that game. I did play it on the Switch when it first launched, and that's pretty much the reason why I haven't been playing Mario and Rabbids. But so that game's done. Picross S8. I told Tim that I kept 2 of the large puzzles in case we got a chance to co-op them. We didn't get around to trying it. I finished them, so they're done.
Well, yeah, because when we did try to do the co-op Picross, I just was not going fast enough to keep up with Jesse.
The co-op we did it on Logic Pick, a different program.
Oh yeah, okay. But still, it would have been the same result.
I think trying to do a 40 by 30 would have been a disaster. Because even those by myself took me almost an hour each.
Now, if we do a get together sometime in the future where we actually bring our wives with us, I actually may be able to see if Nora could do a co-op with you, and I think you guys would knock out a puzzle in like seconds.
That would be fun. Okay. Escape Academy DLC dropped. Yeah, when that the base game came out several months ago. I thought, for some reason, I thought it was a PlayStation exclusive, so I bought it on PlayStation and just bought the DLC with it. And then I found out, no, it was also on Xbox and on Game Pass. But so since I had the DLC already purchased, I played it. I didn't like the DLC as much as I liked the base game. The puzzles, I don't know, just seemed more obscure with less time. It didn't look. I don't know if it was just not enough time put in to polish them, or just maybe the lack of time in general. But I got to the final puzzle, and it's basically 3 or 4 smaller puzzles that you only have 8 minutes to do. And the only one I was successful on is you remember Minesweeper. Now think of Minesweeper being played on a first-person perspective, where you're walking on the grid. As you walk on a square, if it's a safe one, the number shows up just like normal Minesweeper. And if you step on a bomb, you die, you start over, and you got to start over again. So first, doing it in first-person perspective is weird because I've never done it that way before. You have no way to mark the mines, so you kind of have to mentally keep note. And while the goal isn't to find all the mines like traditional, your goal is to get to the opposite corner. And again, you only have 8 minutes to
blowing
do it.
up.
Without blowing up. You only have 8 minutes to do it, and I think I did it in like 6. And that was like the 4th attempt. It took me a while to even get that far. And so that was the only one of the final 8-minute puzzles I completed. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to go back to this one. But so, in case you didn't know, DLC's out. DLC's out. Give it a try if you own it. Otherwise, don't. Do what you want.
Escape Academy. DLC for Escape Academy. Gotcha.
Right. Okay. The monthly mayhem that Tim talked about, I decided to give Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales a try. Since I bought that with my PS5, it's been almost 2 years. I bought it in December of 2020. So definitely a game that qualified. I haven't played it yet. It's at least a year old. And I couldn't get past the first mission. I don't know. Rhino's running away. I'm supposed to make sure he doesn't escape, and he keeps on escaping. And I don't know if they do have multiple difficulty levels. Like the easiest one is Miles apparently can never get knocked out. But will that help me on a chase mission where the guy can run away? I don't know. So I'm like, okay, I think I played that game for 15 minutes total, and before I'm done on that. Kind of disappointing that I paid $60 for that game, or $70 for that game. I don't know how much I came for. It came as part of the bundle, so I don't know what the breakdown was. So I did not get my money's worth on that one. A few more games left. I did a stream of about an hour this weekend. Atari 50, the anniversary celebration. We did have an advanced code, but I didn't get a chance to play it until it actually launched last week. When I first saw this, I thought, if this is just going to be another Atari collection, and then I'm not going to go meh on it because I didn't like the last one. And, the game selections is a lot of the same because they're still the Atari games. They do add Saturn Jaguar games, so they do have more things. I tried some of them, and from the Jaguar, and they're bad games, so not much, nothing to write home about. So if it was only the collection, I'd say no, not worth it for the $40. But the reason why you would want this is it's got basically a documentary that so far looks like it's really well thought out and done. There's documents that they share. There's videos that they share. I haven't gone back to it since I did my stream, so I only got about 10 or 15 minutes into the documentary part before going into the games. But that's the more interesting part in this. So if you want it for only the games, there's other ways to play the games. If you want it for the documentary, I think it's a good documentary. At least what little I've seen of it so far. And
it looked cool from what you shared. It did.
I think
cool.
it even gives me a percentage. It's like it's broken up into chapters, and I've only seen like 4% of the first chapter. So there's a lot there.
But it was still cool. I liked how it was laid out, and plus how some of those games were playing, because it was almost like a remix type thing.
Oh, that reminds me. The thing I didn't like, and Marty's going to like this one, the arcade emulation, you're going to have to hit a button to simulate putting in quarters. I'm not surprised with that. But they're not consistent. Certain different games have different buttons to represent that. Well, why can't that be? There's enough buttons on the joystick or on the controller to have that constant. Like MAME manages to do it, and it's got 70,000 games. So I don't know. So that for just in terms of emulation, that's my one nitpick. In terms of the games in general, they're the games. But yeah, if you watching the documentary is the real reason why you'd want to buy this. I played a little bit of A Little to the Left. I'm not sure I like it as much as I thought I would. I'm about 10 or 15 puzzles in. Some of the puzzles have multiple solutions, and the game will tell you that. If you look at the list, you'll see stars above the levels.
This is that one where you're organizing things, but then the cat can mess it up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you see a single star, then there's only one solution. If you see 2 stars, then there's 2 possible solutions. Like one of them that has 2 solutions is a series of books, and if you line it up, the smallest one in the middle, and then go bigger towards the outer, that's one solution. The second solution is if you look at the bottoms of the spines, you see like a wave pattern. You puzzle those together to something that looks smooth. It looks like a picture. That's the second solution. So things like that. There is a daily mode puzzle. I don't know if I don't solve one, and if I go back the next day, I get a different one, or if I'm stuck trying to solve the second one that I haven't solved yet. But if that's the case, I've looked at that second puzzle multiple times and haven't been able to find the last piece. But in the main game where I'm stuck there's a lot of pictures that the frames are square against the wall, but the pictures themselves are skewed. So you have to skew the frame to make the picture line up. I am having a problem getting everything where I want it with the controller. I think playing this on a PC with a mouse is probably the best way to play this game.
Which it is available on Steam, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
Okay. And then, so I'm not digging that game, but I think other people have. So just your mileage may vary on that one. And then finally, as we talked about earlier, I played the first hour, or hour for me because I was reading everything out loud. If I didn't, it probably would have been about 30 minutes of content of Pokemon Scarlet. I got it a day early because I bought it from the Japanese shop. So midnight there was about 10 a.m. my time. So I thought that's when I could start playing it. I recorded an hour of footage, have it ready to go. I'll upload it after we record this, so it goes live about 8 a.m. tomorrow. So that'll be there to see. And then I'll probably end up. I remember several months ago I bought game vouchers in Japan because they still had them available, and with the yen conversion, I got two vouchers for $91. So I spent one on Pokemon. I'll probably spend the other one on Zelda when it comes out in May. So I'll be able to play Zelda a day early, and I'll probably make the same type of video.
Nice.
All right. I've been playing a couple of games you can go see videos of over on our YouTube channel, so I won't talk about them very much. The first is Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, which is now available for Nintendo Switch. It is it's weird. I'm just gonna put it that way. I mean, it's weird.
Are you saying it's not totally accurate?
Oh, it's not totally accurate because you can have like woolly mammoths fighting elflings and all kinds of other stuff. But basically, the campaign part, you are trying to. It's almost like a puzzle. You are using the resources you have to put out the units that you think will defeat the other team. You can unlock the ability to use all the units, or you can play multiplayer. You can play online. You can even control the units if you want to. It's a really fun time if you like insanity and battles. Also, a game that totally has its hooks in me is Rogue Legacy 2, which I've been playing almost nonstop on my Switch over the last week. I'm terrible at it. It's an extremely difficult roguelike game, but it's so much fun. And there's lots of permanent unlocks if you like that type of thing, to unlock different classes. The hook with this game is that when you die, you're actually playing as the offspring of the original character. And so when you go back through, instead of choosing your character class, you're given one of three options.
Didn't the original game work the same, similar?
Yes. Yeah. So you're given one of three options. And as you unlock character classes, there'll be different types of characters, different weapons. But in the beginning, it's just a single type character class and just different attributes for each one. You know, like you'll have a different support weapons and different things like that. But there are bosses you can beat that kind of unlock and move the story forward as you go. I'm just not like I've made it to the first boss multiple times and cannot do it. I'm gonna have to level up a lot more just to be able to do it. And there's just all kinds of insane things that can happen during the game. Like in one of them, anytime you got hit, the modifier was that the lights went out for 5 seconds, and so your character was in the dark. The last one of the last runs I played was old time film grain, so everything was sepia colored and was grainy. There's just all kinds of stuff going on. It controls great. It sounds great. It's wonderful. Art style is very whimsical. I really highly recommend it if you're into roguelikes. And the last game I've been playing is Sonic Frontiers. I've actually been playing this on PS5. We wanted to get a review copy for it, and we didn't, which I guess is kind of fortunate because I've heard the Switch version is not as good as the others, of course. It's still passable, but this Sonic, it's 3D Sonic. It works. It does have some interesting new mechanics. The story seems a little bit interesting. I've already fought a couple of extremely giant, like mini boss type characters where you have to like run up their arms and attack points, you know, near their head. But it's at the same time, it's also like a lot of Sonic games, you can get to going way too fast and lose yourself. Like, you know, just run off the edge or jump, and the controls are they feel floaty. They feel a little more floaty than I would like them to. But there's tons to explore, and it looks nice. It sounds nice. If you like Sonic, I would recommend it. It's something new. I would say that it's worth checking out if you're a Sonic fan, or if you just like big open world adventures. So yeah, Sonic Frontiers is out there, and I'm sure it's pretty passable on most systems, depending on what you have. Guys, that's what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight.
All right, I'm going to talk about a couple things real quick, and then we'll move on to the community questions. First off, just a reminder, we have our family podcast to go listen to. We got Game Pass news for Xbox stuff, Dad's After Dark show for Dad's stuff after dark, Retro Logic show and their family of shows between Retro Logic, On Topic Retro, Retro Groove, and Film Logic. All kinds of different things to listen to. So go make sure to listen to what you are interested in from any of those places. But the main thing I wanted to point out is just a couple of new reminders of what the Dads After Dark show has cooked up lately for the Monthly Mayhem and for the upcoming holidays. And that is Monthly Mayhem Beat Your Backlog, which I brought up during what we've been playing. I chose the Yoku's Island Express. Jesse, you chose Miles Morales, but sounds like you're probably going to pick a different game.
Or just bounce altogether.
Or just bounce off of it. So,
because I have so many new games to play, I can't play old games right now.
Right. So basically, Beat Your Back catalog for the Monthly Mayhem is you pick a game in your back catalog that's like over 1 year old that you've never once played. You haven't touched it. You bought it, you put it aside, and you didn't play it. You beat that game and you must roll credits, essentially. Then you tell the story about the game, why you had it, etc., and then give a short written review. And then the Dads After Dark crew will pick a $15 winner based on the best game, story, and review. And then they'll also have a lotto winner that gets a $10 eShop card. So prizes to be won, and you have to enter in by December 22nd in order to qualify. So again, that's the Beat Your Backlog. They also are running for our community a Presents After Dark. So if you're interested and you're in our Discord community, or if you're interested and want to join our community, you have to be in Discord to do it. You have to sign up by November 22nd. You sign up by private messaging Drew or John, that's the Blanc, on Discord with your shipping address. And Drew and John will then do private message each of us and give us the chosen giftee, the person that we get. We have to send our present to that person by December 11th, and it's a $25 value. And just for anybody listening, just because it's Dads After Dark does not mean it's a Dads After Dark gift, because we don't want to have to answer questions to our kids and our wives or anything like that. So please keep that in mind. Of course, if you have an understanding with anybody else on what you're doing there, then so be it. But just kind of throwing that out there. Some of us may not want that type of questioning going on. So, but yeah, send a present to your chosen giftee for $25. And then you open your present. Make sure to take a picture or record yourself opening your present to post on Discord. So that is what's going on there for Presents After Dark. So be sure to check that out and go to those specific channels under the Dads After Dark show category. Excuse me. They have Monthly Mayhem, and then they also have Presents After Dark channels there that you can ask questions there. So that is what's going on. So with our community, let's move on to our community questions, which is the first one is from Mitch, our new Patreon Mitch. And I don't think it's the same Mitch, but it's a different Mitch. But anyways, congratulations on hitting 400 episodes and finally getting to meet each other in person. I'm currently sitting with my Saturday morning coffee in the channel Islands, rewatching episode 400 and just enjoying seeing the four of you sitting in the same room. I've been meaning to reach out for a long time, and this felt like as good a time as any to say a huge personal thank you for all the work that you do and the impact it had on me. I first came across your main podcast back in 2019. I not long started a new job over in the UK, and it meant I was commuting a lot. To make use of the time, I started listening to podcasts, and whilst initially a lot of them were work and business related, I then thought, as someone new to the idea of podcasts, there must be some better podcast out there more aligned to my personal interest. So I searched on Spotify for Nintendo podcasts, and a couple of items down from the top there was one called Nintendo Dads. As a father of an 18-month-old at the time, this sounded like the perfect fit for me, and so I gave it a listen, and I've never looked back. I think the reason that what you do has resonated so strongly with me hasn't just been your love for Nintendo, which I very much share, but the parenting aspect to your discussions as well. I'm one of the few members of my friendship group with children, and for a time, I didn't feel like there was anyone I could talk to really about the challenges of being a parent. So when I hear the four of you talking about the challenges you faced alongside your love for Nintendo, it really resonates with me and makes me feel like I'm not alone. Even though these are people who live on the other side of the Atlantic from me and who I most likely will never meet in person, in many ways, they're going through the same things I am as a parent, and at many times that has really helped me. Roll forward to 2022, and I now have 2 kids, one of whom is well on her way to being a little Nintendo fan herself. Kirby and Forgotten Land is very much her game of the year for 2022. And Nintendo Dads have become one of the few must-watch items in my week as I juggle work and family life. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to give a well-overdue thank you to Jesse, Tim, Marty, and Justin, and everyone else who helps to make your community what it is. Please keep going, don't give up, and I look forward to seeing how you're going to top episode 400 when you get to episode 500 in a couple of years' time. An avid fan from a little island of Guernsey, Mitch.
Thank you.
Mitch, that's very cool. Thank you so much for sharing that story. That's awesome. We love kind of hearing about that. So thank you.
That, like we were talking about during Extra Life with the community, just kind of having fun and doing those things to kind of keep us energized throughout the whole trip. These type of things definitely keep me energized, and, because there's times where I think like, am I contributing to the Nintendo Dads well enough, and all that kind of stuff? Is it doing any good? Am I just, just a noise or whatever, that type of thing. But hearing, this kind of thing about all of us, getting that type of information it's really a booster. So I for one definitely appreciate it myself too. So thank you. All right. So Brad, who goes by Max Power, has his question in Discord. Why do you think Nintendo added LED lights to the home buttons on the right Joy-Con and Pro controller and has never used them for anything? Notifications or game invites would make sense, but I always hoped they were going to add some kind of Street Pass like feature to the Switch and use the lights for that. What do you guys think?
You're 100% right, Brad. Max Power, like it just doesn't logically make sense. I think it's only ever been used for notifications, right? Like it flashes when there's like but it's like not a notification from a friend, right?
And any of the games I've played, I have not noticed it used at all.
I've seen it used for Ring Fit as a reminder.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, yes. To play the game, it flashes at like 2:00 on a Monday for me. I get this like ring, 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 ring. And every time I'm like, oh yeah, it does that. And then I don't do anything about it. Like I'm just like, yeah, I'm not.
Oh, that's cute.
I'm not getting up and doing it. I'm more annoyed. I'm more like, I've turned this alarm off. Get out of here. What was past Justin thinking he was going to do at 2:00 on a Monday? Get up and exercise. Get out of here.
What the heck?
It's a carryover from the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah.
Because it just never used.
Yeah. I think there's some really cool things they could do with it. And I'm surprised for all the little things that Nintendo does every now and then that they haven't, other than Ring Fit. So very, very weird.
In fact, I didn't know that was an LED until Ring Fit came out.
Right.
Because that wasn't in their marketing material. That was not something that they advertised.
Yeah, that's the only one I've ever seen it used for.
All right, David, Koopa Kid 80, I think our newest member in our Discord as well, has a question with a name like Pepper Grinder. Speaking of the game that we saw at Indie Direct or Indie Showcase, coming to the Switch from Devolver, what are some of the strangest indie, non-indie game titles you can think of that made you scratch your head? Project Octopath Traveler, perhaps? And then John, just real quick, had posted a game called Milk Inside a Bag of Milk Inside a Bag of Milk and Milk Outside a Bag of Milk Outside a Bag of Milk.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. John wins that. Like, I actually saw that.
I didn't even know that.
That came through in our PR releases like this last week twice. And they're like, have you heard about this game? And I was like, is it a spelling error? Like, did they hit copy paste too many times? Like,
what just happened here?
I think the game came out last week. And I saw PRs going back almost a month talking about it.
I was like,
I'm like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, no.
That wins for sure. I can't think of anything that could beat that. And I really at the top of I can't think of anything at the moment anyways, but
well, yeah, but at the time, again, as I mentioned it earlier, Tokyo Mirage Sessions is kind of a weird name. Sharp FD.
Yeah, there was one that I actually went through the eShop today because I was like to check what was new, and there was one that actually caught my attention. So hold on with it. I want to make sure I get the name right because I was like, wait, did they just do that? Give me a second because I was
there's about a dozen Pretty Girls games out there.
Yeah, this was a Pretty Girl game, I think, and I was like, wait, what did you just do? Hold on a second though.
Yeah, those have some funny names too. And right now I'm just drawing a blank. I can't think of anything.
I want to make sure I got this one right because I was like, I
wonder if I have anything on mine right now that has a funny name.
Here he is, Succubus with Guns.
There you go.
Succubus with Guns.
Succubus with Guns.
Yeah, that one was.
Well, you know actually, go ahead.
I was gonna say the funny part sometimes, like especially is like when you look at amount of games that come in, and like we as an organization get a lot of PR releases, and we get a lot of like access to stuff. A game title has to grab me, right? I have to inquire enough to be like, oh, tell me more about that, right? If it's not a neat game I know. And so some of these games, like you're like Donut Dodo. What? Tell me more. I don't know about that. Like,
well, the game I have also that has a hard name to remember that I played because it was in the indie showcase last time was the Dorfromantik. Or Dorfromantik. It's that kind of simplified city builder. You get tiles and stuff like that. And I really enjoy the game, but man, it's a hard game to remember the name of, and very strange name too, because I don't know if it means something. So
and I think like the naming conventions, like I mean, if you think it's a great example is Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
Right. Like that game, like from a name title, you're like, wait, what? Like it grabs you. Like you're like cult. Okay. Because you think of lamb, sacrificial. Like there's a lot of like naming, like the name of a game. There is so much in that brings you forward.
Some religions refer to their flock, quote unquote, as lambs. So that thing. I'm going through my library. And this is a weird one. Just call this the Rusty Sword, Vanguard Island. It's basically a Zelda clone that has like one dungeon. It takes like a half hour to play through it, and it was like 99 cents on the eShop.
Was it good?
Yeah, I liked it. It scratched that itch a bit.
How about Doki Doki Literature Club?
Yeah, like that's a great game. You're like, wait, what? Like it just like sometimes it's enough that it catches you to say, like, I don't really understand what's going on there.
Right.
12 minutes is another great one, right? You're like, okay, what? Like in regards to just titling.
Yeah.
But then I think a game like The Wild at Heart. Do either of you guys know the game The Wild at Heart?
Yeah. I played that. I don't remember what it was about, but I played it.
It's this fantastic kid story game. It's like like a Pikmin ripoff.
Yeah, actually, it was Pikmin clone. Yeah,
fantastic art style. But like, it's a game that if you did not know, you wouldn't know. Do you know? Like,
yes,
like you would. Like it just kind of goes past you, doesn't grab you. So I think that's the challenge of it. I think there's other great games like the game From Space. That sounds like when you think of it, you're like, oh, it's probably just some weird like on rail or some shooter. No, that's a great like game.
Lone McLonegan.
Yeah. Sometimes games can just get lost in the titling.
Yes.
Love Esquire.
But I do have to say though that milk inside a bag of milk inside a bag of milk and milk outside a bag of milk outside a bag of milk.
That's the worst one I've heard.
It is worst, but it's like why?
But it did exactly what it needed to do, which was when it came into our inbox, I was like, this game I have no interest in, but I want to actually watch the trailer to figure out what it is.
Yes.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going.
All right. Let's go with the next one is from Elvis Mecca. Another one he's got is my friend Shellshock Prime. Yeah, we know Shellshock. He's part of our community, actually. He's been tweeting out dad jokes recently. let's hear your best dad jokes for the show this week, both good and bad ones. But Jesse responded to that commenting saying, the problem is the best dad jokes come on the fly. You can't really prepare for them. So, which is true. But I'm sure we can come up with something. So Elvis, while Justin is researching that a little bit there.
I got one for you. Ready?
Oh, there we go. All right.
What did the green grape say to the purple grape? Breathe, you idiot. Breathe.
Nice.
I tried out a new blender yesterday. Results were mixed.
Right.
Yes.
This is what I'm sure I said on the show before, but I said this during my daughter's wedding rehearsal. I said this, I did the setup, my brother-in-law did the punchline, and my ex-wife just yelled, "Oh my God!" Like she couldn't believe that just happened. So the joke is, how do you know when a joke becomes a dad joke? When it's apparent.
Aha.
Oh my gosh. What do you call a parrot that can't fly? What do you call a parrot that cannot fly? A walkie-talkie.
Yep, that'll do it. Ninfrendo in chat says,
I don't trust stairs.
Why don't you trust stairs, Tim?
They're always up to something.
Whoa!
Ninfrendo in the chat, did you hear about the guy that invented knock-knock jokes? He just won the Nobel Prize.
Oh my gosh. Get out of here.
I love it. I always like stumbling upon those videos too, where there's like two guys telling bad dad jokes to each other.
Yeah.
And every now and then there's one that just makes the other one just crack up.
Yeah.
I love those. Those are fun to watch.
All
right. John has a question. The last few years, after years of being a contractor, I've taken all of Thanksgiving week off thanks to that sweet, sweet PTO. And each time I've made sure to finish games before the long break so I can start something new, long, and meaty. Any other dads planning on the same? What you playing? And before you answer, David again comes back, the Koopa Kid, followed up with, happy pre-Thanksgiving, John. That's awesome that you have next week off. I have Wednesday through Friday off and I'm looking to finish up the new Mario and Rabbids game and play some more of Atari 50 collection. My youngest son and I have enjoyed playing the new Haunted House and combat games on the Atari collection. One of the best collections I have ever played. I also would love to start a new Breath of the Wild game as I think I can finish by the time the new game comes out. And then he goes also to asking what's everybody else going to play.
So in Canada, it's not the week off, right? Although I work for an American company, I will tell you, I still work, but it's a very quiet work week. So for me, it's not like any different game. I think what I would say right now is that I am kind of going into like the backlog season. I have kind of seasons throughout the year where I do a lot of like, hey, we've got a lot of games that are up and a couple of weeks of back-to-back games. Then there are other ones where it's like, nothing's piquing my interest for a couple months. This is probably starting that season, if I'm being very honest. Like nothing on the horizon except for some indie games are piquing my interest right now. So I'm probably, if I go back to my Switch, I want to spend some more time. I actually want to work more through Mario and Rabbids, I think. I did pick up It Takes Two, so I'd love to spend some time with Jody and work on playing that together. So I think just kind of, tackling some of those backlog ones. I think the only big game I've got really prepped, or no, I shouldn't say prepped, but excited for upcoming is Sports Story. In December. But other than that, it's probably just cleaning off some of those indie games that I have on my docket. Finishing off Tunic, I'm just about done, so I want to finish that off.
Nice.
So that's kind of what I'd be playing in the next, probably, I think, as we finish off 2022. I think those are the games I'm looking forward to finishing.
That's awesome. Jesse, what you got in mind?
Yeah, no, in previous years, that was the Dragon Quest XI filled that holiday slot when I had like 2 weeks off around Christmas and had a lot of time. I don't think I'm taking. I think I only have 1 full week off at the end of the year. I'm working a little bit every week in December until then, so I don't think I'll be able to do that. But I do have Again, we'll have the Pokemon. I'll have Dragon Quest Treasures coming. We have Sports Story coming. I still haven't even touched, I still have Mario and Rabbids. Haven't touched Persona yet. And there's 2 more Persona games coming in January. So I have more games than time right now. Even with a holiday.
And like I mentioned, I'm hopeful I will be able to jump into God of War, Ragnarok. Looking forward to playing that. I'm definitely interested in some of the indie games, possibly a Pokemon game. We'll see. But if we don't get a code for that, then
you're getting a code for it.
Okay. I was gonna say it usually ends up being.
I meant to tell you that. Yeah, you're getting a code tomorrow morning for it.
Okay. I was gonna say if it wasn't, if it's not for that, then it's probably gonna be one of those Christmas things where we, because we usually end up getting. I usually end up getting the opposite game the kids don't have, so because I know they're interested in playing as well. But I also have that Yoku's Island Express to try to complete up here soon. So, but one of the games that I'm thinking of playing some more of is that Fuser game that I've started playing when we were doing Extra Life, and maybe doing some streams, every once in a while on a Friday night, just banging out some doing DJ Showtime type stuff. So,
yeah, I don't know what type of music that game has, but I'm sure. I joked that our stream will take 3 weeks to process.
Yeah.
2 weeks in, still processing. So
yes,
1 week to go before my prediction comes true or not. But we're going to get copyright claimed on that, I bet.
Oh,
for sure we are.
We'll see. Yeah, that's true. We could probably cut that out. But I did cut it out from our
Twitch
side and made it a highlight. So I haven't seen anything from that side though, but we'll see. I also did cut out the Splatoon 3 part when I was doing the turf card battle. So
saw that.
I enjoy that as well. So, but yeah. And then whatever else new comes out probably for Christmas holiday that the kids want to play and want me to play with them. So we'll see. I really haven't been trying to plan anything anymore. It's just more of what do I in the mood to play? And sometimes that ends up being a new backlog title because I'd end up not wanting to play it anymore. Or there's something I'm really into and I try to go to finish it. So
yeah, and the other trick is that like next week we're going to be getting some Black Friday sales from Nintendo. I know the European eShop has reopened up theirs and they've got some pretty banger sales. So if you've got games that you've maybe put on your wish list, make sure you flag them because next week is going to be some pretty deep sales this week or this Black Friday week coming up, and then right around Christmas time they do another really deep cut as well, trying to get some those
spend that eShop money you get for Christmas.
So make sure you flag that stuff. All right.
Yes. All right. Great question again from our community. Questions from the Patreon, the Funchy Bunch. Hey, daddies. First, want to congratulate y'all.
I like that.
First, want to congratulate y'all on the 24-hour stream. Unfortunately, missed it due to some unforeseen issues at home. Will you be uploading parts of it on YouTube? Should still be there, at least in Twitch side. And some of the things we've clipped, we put on the YouTube side as well.
Well, I know that the 23-hour and 50-minute stream or so. It says you see it there when it's when you search for it, but last I tried to play it, it wouldn't play.
Yeah, it's still rendering, right?
So, wow.
Yeah,
I'd say watch it over on Patreon. Or sorry,
yeah, I don't know if
on Twitch.
I don't know if any of us wants to go through and make clips out of a 24-hour recording. That would take probably 2 days just to download it.
Well, if you guys, what you guys can do, like what Justin did with the cookie thing, we have, I think, 3 days left before that video expires. The whole 24 hours expires on Twitch side. So if you guys and Nintendo dads want to see anything clipped, or even our audience, if there's something you want to see clipped, just let me know the time.
Might not be a bad idea, Tim, just to download that file offline so that we're not abided by Twitch's 3-day limit there, right?
That's gonna be a long download, but that's a good idea.
Start it before you go to bed.
All right. I will do that once we're done here tonight.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll remember.
It could also be downloaded. If you're talking about the full stream, we could download it off of YouTube as well.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep going here. We can talk post show about that one.
Yep. All right. So, and now for my question: as dads who run a Nintendo podcast that have now spent time together after midnights, what's your favorite song from Taylor Swift's new album Midnights? And as a bonus, if picking a favorite song is too difficult, was there ever music your kids listened to that you got sick of hearing on repeat? Yeah. I had a coworker say to me the other day, I don't want to hear about Bruno. I'm tired of listening to Encanto's soundtrack from my kids.
Yeah, I'd say so. First, in regards to Taylor Swift, Antihero is the best song of that album. Second, Let It Go from Frozen on constant repeat in my house, in my car, as I drove around my two daughters. There was one point where it just broke me. And we were driving down on a sunny summer day in Lethbridge, and I opened up all the windows in our car and I blared it as loud as I could. And we sang along as loud as we could at every red light with actions and drama associated with it. Because at that point, I just felt like Disney won.
Nice. Yeah. I'm probably typically I like more dancey stuff from Taylor Swift. So I like Shake It Off. I enjoyed that one. How about you, Jesse? You have any Taylor Swift favorites?
I couldn't tell you a single song she's done because I don't listen to. I really don't listen to modern music anymore. I haven't in a long time.
It was pretty good. My daughter was pretty excited to it. We listened to it. I think Antihero is the best song. So, and actually, if you are a fan of Dermot Kennedy, like I am, he actually did a cover of Antihero on BBC One. BBC Radio a couple days ago, and Dermot Kennedy has a new album out just dropped today, which is fantastic. He's an Irish songwriter, which is great.
Then you comment about you comment about Let It Go. That and Want to Build a Snowman probably would be my best answers, but I'm probably part of the problem in my house because around that time, my son and I was into transposing music and making music playable on a cello and our other instruments that we have around the house. So, somewhere on my hard drive, I think I have a Let It Go cello solo song and a snowman for cello. So yeah, I was definitely part of the problem.
Right.
Not the solution.
And Funchy Bunch, if you've heard earlier, the links will be open the rest of the year to donate. But in order to be eligible for prizes for Extra Life, you have to donate by November 30th because that's our cutoff date. So, but again, you can donate anytime because his question was when, are we closing any of those links? But no, they don't close until the end of the year. So
I read his name as Funky Bunch. Even though
I got Funchy. CH is a chi, isn't it? CHI is a chi. All right. Anyways, question from Twitter, Jamie Penny. Hi, Nintendo Dads. Just wanted to send you a message to say congratulations on making it to 400 episodes of the show. I have found your show to be very relatable as I am a Nintendo dad myself with two daughters. While I'm a relative newcomer to your community, I thoroughly enjoy what everyone brings to the show, whether it's Business Justin, Jesse's Pokeminute, or just the general banter between the four of you. I hope that you relish your time first time being all together in person and that your friendships are solidified even further. Keep up the fantastic work, and here's to 400 more. Regards, Jamie from Queensland, Australia. Thank you for all of those great comments from all our people overseas.
I was going to say two of those emails from people overseas, which is incredible. Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, you ready to close out the show?
Hi.
Yeah, it's been a show.
All right, let's do this.
Actually, we'll also talk about this next week. I guess as kind of was alluded, it is Thanksgiving in the US. So I think, gentlemen, you'll take the week off, right? Again.
You're gonna do your Canadian show?
I'll probably do a solo show. I'm not managing that one again. That was an absolute chaos.
That was the best thing, though.
Oh my gosh. I may do a Canadian show or I'll do a solo show. or I'll figure something out. But
right.
it'll be off. Folks these guys will have the week off. I'll do a Canadian show, and it may just be a solo show again. So, but we'll figure it out for next week.
Just make sure you bring some maple syrup. That's all.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup mousses. All right. Here we go. We have 6,541 subscribers. We've busted the 6,500 mark for YouTube. Thank you all for helping us get to that point. Now on, we're looking forward to that 7,000 mark. So help us get there. Pass us our name around, get us to that mark. Thank you. Twitch over.
Also, most of our people who watch our channel are not subscribed to our YouTube channel. Like, I looked at the actual subscription rate. 75% of people who watch our content on YouTube are not subscribed. Subscribe, hit the bell,
hit that subscribe button, hit the bell.
So when I do my live streams, when I do my wrap up, I normally say, and if you don't know, we do a podcast, and I try to spiel that a little bit.
Yes.
After knowing that, there's 3/4 of the people aren't subscribed. So that's amazing how that works sometimes.
And we also have that problem over on Twitch, kind of, where we have a ton of followers, over 1,300 followers, but 20 subscribers. But thank you to those 20 subscribers for subscribing us. And don't forget, you can access a lot of fun things in our Discord community if you're not already there. Get 20% off your Manscaped order with free shipping with the code NINDADS. Don't forget about that. Check out our merch store via nintendodads.org/merch. But also, just go to our website, nintendodads.org, and you'll be able to see all kinds of stuff there, like our YouTube videos, tweets, podcasts, social media, our link to Extra Life, so you can donate to anybody on our team. All kinds of stuff going on there. But go there for all kinds of information. Huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Solo Something, and RJ Kern. Always thankful for our producers there. You can find us in most places like Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube by typing Nintendo Dads, or you can email us at nintendodads@gmail.com, or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS or 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music throughout the show. Download from your favorite podcast app of choice like CastBox, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, which doesn't exist anymore, YouTube Music, or Spotify. And if you're in a app that gives reviews, please give us a 5-star review. Anything less, you can now give that to Carpool Gaming, any of their teams. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. But 5-star definitely for us. For me, for Justin, for Jesse, and for Marty, who had to bail. Check you all later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening into Nintendo Dads.
Wobble Puffet, Wobble Buffet, Maple Syrup Mousses.